Welcome back to Mondello Park, ladies and gents. Great to be live streaming from the ICCR here one more time. That's with thanks, of course, to the Beacon Hospital coming on board to help us. We're going to be live streaming all the motor racing events here from Mondello Park for the rest of the year. We're almost getting ready to go. We've got a packed program here today, and there's going to be some great racing. It's a little bit windy, as you can see, but the weather's pretty good and the forecast is pretty good. The Irish legends are already out there on their warm-up lap getting ready for their first race of the day. Then we're going to have Irish touring cars. We're going to have Seat Super Cups. We're going to have a massive grid of Zetec safety Fiestas, one of the biggest grids ever at Mondello Park. Then we're going to have Fiesta STs, much more Irish touring cars, Future Classics. So great action all day here at Mondello Park. We'll be streaming it all day. It'll be on social media. You can leave comments. You can get in touch with us here. But basically, we're going to have a really good day of action here at Mondello Park. And we're going to test onboard live coverage for the first time here at Mondello Park. So we're going to be able to ride on board with some of the top saloon car drivers racing here at Mondello Park today. So plump up your pillows, as the man says, and get ready for the first race, which is going to be Irish Legends in just a few minutes' time. So Irish Legends already halfway around their warm-up lap. A strong wind blowing here, but as you can see, the weather looks good. No real clouds around. A little bit gone over to the far side of the circuit. Hopefully they'll just have blown by us. Tig Sharkey, who works at Mondello Park during the week as an instructor, is going to start this from pole position. Derrick Hogan, former field racer, alongside Jeff Richardson, very quick guy on row 2 with Scott Jackson. Peter Barrable, who's won in everything he's driven. Greg Richardson, also very quick. Humphreys, Richard Spence, Colin Hamill, Anthony Malone, Lee Malone, Gordon Brown, Seamus Ryan, and David Yamamoto, the order here. 1200cc motorbike engines in these cars. They make a great sound. Don't have too much grips. They move around a lot. They take a lot of driving. Look at Peter Barrable there in the Daedalo yellow car on the left, 22. Automatic-cars.ie. He's trying to get a little bit of heat into those tires as they come down. Rolling start, of course. They don't do standing starts, so you can get a great run. You'll see tactics in use here. Watch out for Barrable and the two Richardsons. Always very good. Is it Derrick Hogan and the Pink Panther leading down into turn 1? It is Hogan on the outside, but Tig Sharkey goes back at him on the brakes. He's very late. I was just going to say only just gets it turned in, but he doesn't. Understeer straight across the track. I'll have to listen to the other instructors giving him loads of abuse on Monday about that one. So a 0 unfortunately for Tig Sharkey. Just a little bit of understeer, couldn't stop it. Went in very late on the brakes. And he just had to gather it all up and get it back out of the gravel. So leaders already out of turn 3. The track, as you can see, in great condition here today. Just cutting a little bit of curb on the inside. There's Hogan in 4th place. Yamamoto, all the rest coming through, some new names for us, which is great to see. Most of these cars, in fact all of them, I think, run by Paul O'Brien Racing. POB Racing does a great job. The presentation is superb in this class. They all have their own awnings. That's a great shot, and they come down into Bridgestone corner there, the long left-hander side by side on the back straight there, and that's Peter Barrable on the way up the hill towards Lola corner with a big challenge for the lead. Heading up the outside there, and right round the outside goes 22 Barrable and sweeps by into the lead. I did say he was quick in everything he drove. The clue is in the surname, isn't it? They're quite a dynasty, the Barrables, and he gets across to the inside, down the inside of the fence into 7A, and then 7B, the second right-hander, but leaves the door wide open, not like Peter Barrable, and Richardson straight through, so great stuff. And Barrable now has to do it all again after the big brave move round the outside at Lona corner. Down into Bahrain's Benz now, the right and left, named after Martin Bahrain, who saved the circuit in 1985 when it was up for sale. It got into administration, and he's invested all the in this extension we're on now, in the garages, the suites, the tower that I'm speaking to you from. Put a lot of investment into this, Martin Bahrain, and he's remembered with Bahrain's Benz, the right and left. Through that long left-hander back towards Paddock. The drivers love this corner. The next one here, up over the inside curve, plenty of commitment, and then we're at the final corner, south side, Motor Factors, with Peter Barrable getting out of shape there on the brakes. Derrick Hogan going nicely there in 4th place. Still, if they come down and start another lap. So they all go streaming by. Great sound effects. It's Jeff Richardson who leads from Peter Barrable and Greg Richardson. So Barrable and a Richardson sandwich there, and it is Derrick Hogan still going well in 4th place. He'd be delighted with this. 91, unusual, different bodywork in that car, a sedan as opposed to a coupe. They all have the same chassis and mechanicals, though. You have 2 choices of bodies and Irish Legends, most of them using this coupe. Out of turn 3, Jeff Richardson now with Peter Barrable hanging on, looking for a wide line to get a run up the hill. Classic Mondello move, but doesn't get it on that occasion. Greg Richardson dropping back slightly. Hogan doing nicely in 4th, and nobody touching him. That's Yamamoto next up, getting sideways. An armful of opposite lock for the former Gearbox Carter, David Yamamoto. Then Scott Jackson, Gordon Brown, and Colin Hamill and Gary Humphreys all in there too. Seamus Ryan, of course, the name well known to us at Mondello Park. He's up a couple of places. And Tig Sharkey still recovering at the back. That's Tig Sharkey up a place already. 21 going nicely. Oh, Peter Barrable up the inside. They're side by side. They're just drifting the little legends. They look superb when they do that. He's got the inside line for 7A and B, but he's going to have to be very late on the brakes. Richardson gives him a little bit of a squeeze and gets in there. So Barrable doesn't make it stick on that occasion. Two really good drivers having to go up front here. Right out onto the exit curbs there now, and back up the hill towards Bahrain Benz already. Second time, 3 minutes gone and 6 minutes 38 to go on this one. Barrable still crowding Richardson as they go through the right left, hard on the brakes, down through the gears. Richardson's defensive. Barrable gets a full racing line, which should make him a little bit quicker on the way out of this one. He gets this run now on the way down to Paddock Corner. They're both so committed. Up over the inside curve, opposite lock for Barrable. They're both trying really hard, and in fact Greg Richardson can't stay with them, which is very unusual. He is very quick as well. But Barrable 22, right up over that inside curve, a little dab of opposite lock as he stands on the bar and gets in for the toe now. Sometimes they do a little, that's a great shot. Sometimes they do a little, get a bit of bump drafting on the main straight, which is where they actually go bumper to bumper. You wouldn't be tolerated in any other class, but a bit like some of the cadet classes in go-karts, they bump draft, perfectly acceptable, and they have these flat bumpers front and rear, and you'll see them, they race all around the world. Originated in America, these scale models of old American cars. Really popular class, very entertaining to watch, as you can see, and great sound effects from those motorbike engines. Oh, Richardson is the one who goes sideways now, and Barrable gains perhaps half a car length from that. Greg Richardson dropping back slightly. He was 2.6 seconds back. It's still Hogan in 4th place. Barrable wide, Richardson sideways again, and that should give Barrable the impetus here. It will. He gets a great run up the inside. He's going to be on the outside. He needs to get this done probably before Lola Corner. He's not going to though. Richardson just out-drags him there on the way up the hill, but there's not much in it as they come towards Lola. Here they come again. Barrable will be using a novel line, no doubt he does. He gets back to the inside, gets the nose ahead, but can Richardson close the door again on the back straight? Looks like he can. He can. I don't know if he's got a little bit better straight line speed. There's very little in it, but he seems to be able to inch his way back ahead of Barrable and then just get the door closed down into 7A and B. And Barrable, having done all the work, is forced to sit back in behind him again. Great scrap, this one, in the Irish Legends cars, race 1. These races are a little bit shorter, of course, than the other cars because they are having 3 races in one day. Richardson again goes defensive. Barrable high and wide. Theoretically should be quicker on the way out, but Richardson managed to get a good run on the way out. Barrable looking up the inside at Paddock. Doesn't get it done though. Certainly Barrable looking very threatening now. Richardson goes out over the curbs. Barrable gets alongside again on the run up to Southside Motor Factory's corner. Both late on the brakes. A little lock up and up onto the curb for Richardson. Barrable looking perhaps more composed at this stage. He goes to the inside, back, he's piling on the pressure now. And this time they are bumper to bumper. That's what I was talking about. That's bump drafting, and what a great shot as they go by. Barrable just giving him a little push on the back bumper there on the main straight, then backing out of it and going out to the right. But he's certainly letting Jeff Richardson know that he's there. I'm sure Jeff is aware. There's Greg Richardson in 3rd place. A little bit lackluster by his lofty standards. He's normally right at the front. But the two boys easing away. Fastest lap was Peter Barrable, 158.373. And again, Richardson defends. Barrable high and wide. Don't know how hard these cars are on their tyres, but certainly Richardson would be working his tyres harder than Barrable at the moment because he's having to defend on the way into corners. You can see he's beginning to get it a little bit sideways on the power on the way out. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Barrable looking for a good run off Bridgestone Corner, out over the curbs and up the hill. Kennedy's Rise, now named after David Kennedy, the Formula 1 driver. Then Lola Corner, the long right hand. This corner here, Barrable seems to be very inventive with his lines. He does it again, and Richardson is happy to sit around the outside there and let Barrable up alongside, but he manages to out-drag him here. Maybe he gets a better run off the corner. It's hard to know, but he just takes it back, doesn't he? Now he moves across to the inside. No way is he going to leave a gap there. Slows it down. Barrable looking very aggressive here. He's up the inside. Richardson's car beginning to go a little bit, certainly more sideways than Barrable's, and Barrable's just moving around, making him defend. We've still got, only 2 minutes 30 to go in this one. The Barable's going to have to make a move fairly soon. Just almost down the inside, but the door slammed shut there by Jeff Richardson. He knows in the closing stages, in over the curb and a little bit of grass, and a beautiful drift from Richardson on the way out. What a scrap at the front of this one. So it's Richardson and Barable now coming up towards us. Richardson goes to the inside to defend. This will be probably starting their final lap. Barable is so late on the brakes. Does he go wide? No, he gets into the ape. They both go wide. Barable gets a better run on the way out. He's looking for some tarmac on the outside. He's got it. They're side by side now on the main straight. Richardson on the inside, Barable on the outside. Richardson should be able to contain this, but this, I would imagine, is the last lap. And the rain has started to come down, so ignore what I said earlier. That's why they're going a little bit wide. We've just had a shower of rain here at Mondello Park, and that's going to make it very difficult. These cars designed not to have ultimate grip. They don't use slick racing tires. They use a very hard treaded tire, so they move around a lot. Barable moving around a lot in Richardson's mirrors now on this, the final lap. We definitely would have seen a move had it stayed dry. Let's see what happens in the wet. See if anyone's quicker. Overheating tires won't be an issue. Oh, they're both dancing on the pedals, but Barable gets a cracker of a run up out of turn 3. Richardson has it covered, and Barable has no choice but to go to the outside on an off-camber corner with a wet track. It's brave stuff from Barable. Can he get it back into the apex? He's wide all the way around. No, Richardson quicker on the way out. Good stuff from Jeff Richardson here. And Peter Barable trying every trick in the book. And believe you me, there are plenty of tricks in Peter Barable's book as he heads up the hill towards Lola Corner one more time. I love this. Great shot of Lola Corner. This is where he did it last few times. He's going to sit around the outside this time, Barable. Doesn't work. Richardson's got to defend it. He's going to run out of corners if he doesn't get a move sometime soon. Peter Barable. He's later on the brakes. He's way later on the brakes. He's gone right round the outside. He's gone off. He's gone into the gravel. That's so unlike Peter Barable. And Jeff Richardson, what a job with defending. Can Barable get back on and still maintain? Look at this. Such is their advantage that he can have a spin through the gravel down at turn 3 and rejoin, or at 7A and B I should say, and rejoin, still hanging on to second place. Well, it was one of those last lap manoeuvres, wasn't it? It didn't cost him a place, but he really wanted to have a go there. So Peter Barable very committed. The little shower of rain giving us all the action at the end of this one. The order last time round: Jeff Richardson, Peter Barable, Greg Richardson, Gordon Brown, David Yamamoto, Scott Jackson, Tyke Sharkey, great recovery drive. He'll be able to fight back when the instructors have a go at him on Monday morning. Then Colin Hamill, Gary Humphreys, Derrick Hogan, Lee Malone, Seamus Ryan, Anthony Malone and Richard Spence. But it's the final corner. It's Jeff Richardson, number 1. Great drive, superb defence. And he comes down to take the first win of the day on the Beacon Hospital live stream here at the Digital Motorsports ICCR at Mondello Park. Barable in second place. Greg Richardson in third place. Big gap back. Those three well clear of anybody else. Great racing though as they come down towards us. It's Gordon Brown, I think it is, next up from Yamamoto in a drag race across the line. That's exactly who it is. Gordon Brown from David Yamamoto, the former Gearbox Carter. Scott Jackson crosses the line. Tyke Sharkey right well. That's a good recovery drive from 14th all the way up to 7th from Tyke Sharkey. Gary Humphreys taking the place from Colin Hamill there in the last lap. Then Derrick Hogan, 63. Seamus Ryan. Are we missing Lee Malone? No, Lee Malone crossing the line now. 2 more cars still to finish. Well, that rain just blew in out of nowhere. So Anthony Malone and Richard Spence. Finishing order in that one. Well, there you go. I did tell you there was going to be great entertainment live on the live stream here from Mondello Park, and indeed there was. We were not expecting that little bit of rain, though. I certainly wasn't. It can happen sometimes, but usually from the commentary box, that's me there in the centre of your screen, the tower. You can look out to the right over turn 3, and if you can see the Hill of Allen generally, clearly, you don't get any weather, but it came in out to the west of the circuit, but the wind seems to have blown it in there very quickly. We can still see out over turn 3, but there's certainly a little bit of rain still coming down and a lot of wind at Mondello Park. So the next race is going to be Fiesta ST's, the Coffee to Go Fiesta ST Championship, and they don't have to make a tyre choice. Remember, if it was some of the other classes with slicks and wets, they don't have to, because they run on a Yokohama AO50 tyre, which is all-weather. It's road legal actually, and it's even though it's a track day tyre, but it's can be used in all conditions, so they don't have to make a tyre choice. This should be great entertainment because Eddie Peterson starts this one on pole position in the Peterson's Cars Like New Fiesta ST. 5 times Houston Auto Test champion and very much has his eye on the championship this year. Already leading it at this early stage. Eddie Peterson, very, very, very talented driver and a great guy. He's going superbly, running with Murray Motorsport. Now alongside him, Michael Cullen in the yellow H Motorsport Beacon Hospital car. And I think we may be able to go on board with Michael Cullen in this one. Not sure. I know the guys, the technical team from See It Live are working hard on that one still, so we may or may not be, but we will be at some stage having a look out the front window, looking over the shoulder of some of the top tin top drivers. Max Turley, the young star of the class in 3rd place. Great to see him up there. He goes really, really well. Dave Maguire next to him, former 3-time champion. Trevor Farrar well up there, and Victor Cullen is progressing every single time. Then the first of the interlopers, Phil Lawless from Mondello Park. Phil works here during the week. He's part of the operations team. Fix it, Phil. Never is there a problem too much for Phil Lawless during the week at Mondello Park or on the track normally. He's a former Zetec champion, always a front runner in Zetecs. Bought this Fiesta ST from Barry Barrable. I hope Barry Barrable is tuning in. Barry, we're thinking of you and wishing you all the best here from Mondello Park. And Phil Lawless is in that car and has put that car 8th on the grid first time out. He only tested it first time yesterday. Shane Mcbride, equally impressive, another Formula V driver. And he's done the Fiesta 6-hour race a few times, the Zetecs, but he just bought this car a couple of weeks ago. I think he took it to Kyrgyzstan, had a quick shakedown, and he's 9th on the grid. Then it's Chris Jones, Christopher Grimes, Cian O'Brien, Gary Lynch, Gordon Kellan and Wayne Laverick. And that is the order. We should have had 2019 champion Eric Holstein out, but Eric away on business, couldn't make it this time round, but Holstein is definitely coming back out this year, and Dara Denning should be coming back to join us as well. We have a potential 20 cars, 15 out today, but there are 20 registered now for this championship, so when the planets align, they should all be out. This will be quite interesting because there was a last minute change in the weather there for these guys. They will all have been on dry settings, so let's see if they changed anything or how they get on. It's definitely still a little bit greasy out there. With a front-wheel drive car, the back is always a little bit loose, and that could be very, very difficult in the opening laps here. Okay, well, we are running a little bit ahead of schedule, so the technical guys didn't get to Michael Cullen's car. The car is being released a little bit early. If you've just tuned in and you missed the Legend race, sorry about that. The officials are running a little bit earlier than schedule. I know we published timesheets and I know we published timetables on social media, but we are ahead of that. So we've just cut out the guys there, no fault of their own. We didn't get a chance to activate the camera on Michael Cullen's car, unfortunately. So we will be back, don't worry. This is the 2 of these coffee to go Fiesta ST races, great class, 150, 160 odd brake horsepower in these cars. They're not expensive, great fun to drive. The guys that race them absolutely love them. A couple of the Zetec racers looking to move up perhaps for next year, which would be great to see. So Coffee to Go, the Dublin-based chain of coffee shops owned by Graham McDonald, who's actually the champion in this class last year, but he's continued his support even though he's moved up. We will see him on the live stream later on because he's going very nicely in the Say Super Cup. Proper factory-built touring cars. He's moved up from these Fiesta STs. And Phil Lawless in the background, the white car, absolutely firing the car around in an effort to get some heat into the rear tyres. That's the all-white car, number 77. Peterson in the Peterson's Cars Like New machine. And the Beacon Hospital Health Check car of Michael Cullen. The Panasonic car of Max Turley weaving around. The Insure My Cars.ie machine of Dave Maguire. And Parts for Cars machine of Trevor Farrar. And a plain white machine of Phil Lawless. Victor Cullen in the second Beacon Health Check car, of course. 2 cars going to have to start in the pit lane, didn't qualify, but no problem with that. They'll be absolutely fine. They should be able to rejoin. I think they're not showing up on our sheet. I think that's Simon Dean, and is it Christopher Grimes? I think it might be Christopher Grimes Senior. We'll see what comes up on the screen when they activate it. The 5-second board is up. We're getting ready to go. It'll be hard to get these cars off the line in slippy conditions. Let's see who gets away first. Peterson should be the master of it. He is. The auto tester gets away. Cullen gets in behind him. Turley next up. Then Maguire. Phil Lawless makes a good start, but he's boxed in there by Trevor Farrar. As they head down towards the first corner, Farrar and somebody else on the outside. Somebody flashing the lights. That's Phil Lawless, I think. The hazard's being activated there in the car. It happens on these sometimes. Oh, and around goes 18, is it? 88, Christopher Grimes Senior. I'm not sure. Looks like 18. That's all. It's Gary Lynch, that is. Cold back tyres. Car just swapped ends. He should be absolutely fine. Gary Lynch, another newcomer to the class. And as we said, it's going to be tricky for the opening lap because the back tyres will be cold and the rain is still coming down here at Mondello Park. So look at the cars. They look a little bit skittish, don't they? Back end gets out of shape and they've got to stand on the power and pull it back. Chris Jones catches that one beautifully there in the Jones Investments car. Could have gone round on him very easily there, but didn't. So away we go. 16 cars showing up on the screen now. I think we possibly have 17 out there, but we'll follow that as they go through. Gordon Kellett's made a great start. Gordon Kellett in the black car with the orange flash on the side. From well back, he's passed plenty of cars there. Rain coming down very, very heavily. I've just given Gordon Kellett the commentator's curse there because he's dropping back. And I think that's the Dean Motors car. Simon Dean absolutely flying. Started from the pit lane, the red car. Oh, Max Turley's got up the inside of Michael Cullen. These two had history in Bishop's Court. Their door handle again just ahead of this. And Turley down the inside. Will he go wide? He doesn't. He takes that place. Looking very racy, Max Turley here in second place. And he's got the head down now, chasing his teammate, Eddie Peterson. Trevor Farrar going, I was going to say going nicely. I'm putting curses on all the drivers today. He was right on Dave Maguire's back bumper just before he drifted off into the boonies on the way out of 7B there. It's obviously very, very slippy here. Now, Eddie Peterson, the master of car control. We did say he was a 5 times Houston Auto Test champion. He's competed internationally representing Ireland and has had many, many wins. And obviously just as good in a tin top as he is in a mini special. Simon Dean, I just saw him dive down the inside of somebody in the background there. Watch out for the red car in the background. He's on a bit of a run here, Simon Dean. Oh, great shot there. Peterson leads. Turley, Cullen, Maguire, Farrar, Victor Cullen. And next up is the Churchtown Motor Company car. It's Christopher Grimes Jr., great young driver. We've known to us from, he does a little bit of auto testing, but also has raced many junior class and rallycross. Is very quick driver in rallycross here at Mondello Park as well. Peterson there gets it turned in. Turley next up. Cullen looking to have a go back at Turley now as they go by. Simon Dean is up to 11th place from 16 cars and he started in the pit lane. So we'll be keeping an eye on his progress. He's going well, I think, in the background here. Let's keep an eye on that. Cullen really trying hard to get back at Max Turley here now. He's very quick at turn 3A, the first bit of turn 3. Cullen closes him down on the brakes for the second bit, second gear up the hill. Here they come now, back down into what's normally the S's Bridgestone corner now. Long left-hand corner. Trevor Farrar goes through, Victor Cullen as well. Victor still making progress. Very, very experienced drivers in this field, Fiesta STs. It's up a long back straight we're looking at there. That's Farrar going by, Victor Cullen right with him, and Christopher Grimes Jr. Out through Lola corner and out onto that long back straight. Up into fourth gear. The lap times showing on the top left, but they're not relevant now because that's a standing start lap. But they will be as the race goes on. We'll be able to show you those lap times, so keep an eye on the top left-hand corner of your screen. Oh, Michael Cullen, his car thinks it's a Mark II Escort. Sideways stuff from him, controls it well, but the back end a little bit wayward. Shane Mcbride going nicely. Very slippery at 7B for some reason. Look at the back end of these cars all over the place. Young Keane O'Brien, 555. Beautiful slide from him there as well. He's just getting used to this car. Hasn't had much running in it at all. Keane O'Brien, somebody very sideways in the background. I think that's Grimes it is, and that allows... who's that behind? Shane Mcbride going nicely, the Formula V racer, 8th place now and looking for another one. So it's Peterson, a little bit spaced out up front. It's Peterson, Turley, Cullen and Maguire. They're not really having a go at each other. We'll have to look further back, I think, to see some of the action here. And here comes a little bit of it. The newbies are beginning to scrap a little bit further back. Peterson comes still very dark here at Mondello. There's Farrar, there's Victor Cullen. Let's see who else comes through. Oh, great battle there. That's Shane Mcbride having a real go in his first Fiesta ST race. And also in his first Fiesta ST race, right behind him is the plain white car of Phil Lawless. And side by side, that's O'Brien next up, I think, and Simon Dean and Gordon Kellett side by side. Cullen still tries to inch back up. Here's the lap times now. It's the fastest lap to Max Turley by 0.2 of a second last time round. Just narrows the gap slightly to the leader. So Peterson, Turley, Cullen, Maguire, Farrar, Victor Cullen, Christopher Grimes, Shane Mcbride, Phil Lawless, Gordon Kellett, Simon Dean, Keane O'Brien, Chris Jones, Christopher Grimes Sr., Gary Lynch and Wayne Laverick the order in this one. In fact, I don't see Wayne Laverick posting a time, so he's not actually out there. He was entered and did qualify, I think. Indeed he did. Oh, down into the SS. Shane McBride's going around the outside, right round the outside there to take that place away, I think, from Christopher Grimes Jr. And they're kissing door handles on the way up the hill. This is great stuff. Up Kennedy's Rise. Look at this. Shane McBride in his first Fiesta ST race, the Dundalk man, up the inside and takes that place. Great stuff from him. Is he going to go wide? He is, but it doesn't matter. He's going to carry the speed around the outside there. That's exactly what he does. Great stuff. Then it's lost. Then Dean and Kellett, they're like synchronized swimmers. They've done a lap and a half side by side without contact. So this is good stuff. Gordon Kellett on the inside. Dean is so late on the brakes. Will he get it turned in? He will. Simon Dean going well in these greasy conditions, isn't he? One of the top classic car dealers in the country, of course. Follow him on social media. He's well worth following. Very entertaining. Dean Motors. They come up to the right-hand part of Brian's Bend and the left. But Shane McBride going nicely, pulling away now a little bit from Christopher Grimes Jr. That's going to put him up into 7th place. There's the Dean Motors car, run by John Burke and Gordon Kellett, Cian O'Brien, and then Chris Jones, I think it is, behind him. Well, the leader coming down the main straight, and actually there's a race on out front now because Peterson's under pressure up front. Max Turley with a cracking lap there, 7, 8 tenths quicker. Here it is, great stuff from the director there, right to the first corner. And Peterson locking up and going a little bit wide because Max Turley, the young star of this class, is going superbly again. He's been very quick lately. Something has just clicked with Max Turley and he's absolutely flying. We saw flashes of brilliance from him last year, but certainly this year, something, as we said, has clicked. He's going really well. And Peterson in trouble here. Peterson's car a little bit out of shape through the first apex there. Certainly Turley's car looking more composed. And out over the curbs again, Peterson. But a 6.3, look at the top left of your screen, a 206.3 for Turley, 207.1, 4 tenths of a second. Big advantage to have in Fiesta STs. Michael Cullen in third, can't quite stay with him at the moment. But I do think there's going to be an attack here up the front from Max Turley shortly. We've got 7 minutes gone, 7 minutes to go. Turley closing down again on the brakes into 7A. This is where we know it's really slippery, but they're both keeping the cars tidy. Peterson with a good exit, gets himself another length back perhaps from Turley. I do feel there'll be a challenge coming here shortly for the lead. Peterson, Turley, Cullen, Maguire. Through that long left-hander. Peterson, you can see him looking up there, having a quick look in the mirror, but he's getting good exits. He's not making any mistakes. Turley might be quick around a lap, but it's going to need a mistake for him to get right up there. Both very committed, getting the front wheel drive hops there through Paddock Corner. Dave Maguire perhaps a little bit closer to Cullen in the background, but this is where the scrap is at the moment. Nothing Turley can do just now, but he's right with him, and they've just pulled away from everybody else. You see the lap times as they go by here. Yeah, it's Peterson quicker. They're both gone 2 seconds quicker than they went the last time around. Peterson 2 tenths quicker, but certainly tidier through turn 1 is Turley. That time with the Panasonic car. Through the left-hander again. And it's Cullen with Dave Maguire beginning to perhaps close on him a little bit, although it doesn't show in the lap time. But look at Shane McBride's lap time, 206.7. Shane McBride going quicker than Victor Cullen and quicker than Trevor Ferrara in front, so he might not be finished charging just yet, Shane McBride. Meanwhile, Max Turley still chipping away at the lead. Here they come. Coffee to go Fiesta STs now in the battle very much between Peterson and Turley in this one. Both out over the curbs. Turley's father, Mark Turley, of course, raced here for many years, hugely successful. Always very spectacular, always great to watch Mark Turley, always very committed. Max Turley with a good run through Lola Corner again out onto the back straight. They took a similar line, high and wide all the way around it, but the result also quite similar. Just like there's no gaps there, he's not getting close just yet. He's certainly not close enough to have a stab or a lunge down the inside, but one little mistake could change all that, although Eddie Peterson rarely makes mistakes. Out front, championship leader Eddie Peterson, early in the season, but he already has a strong lead. Here they come to Bahrain's Benz, right-hander, then left-hander. And again, no mistakes for Peterson. Wipers off on both the cars, so definitely drying up out there a little bit. Lap times are falling, as we said. But they did 2:02 was pole position. They're only 2 seconds off that and on the full international circuit, so it must be almost dry conditions. I'd imagine they'll go a little bit quicker this time around. And Peterson now beginning to open that gap up a little bit as they head up the hill towards Southside Motor Factors corner. Oh, and Turley, back of the car, moving around there when he's on the brakes. Great stuff. Out onto the main straight again. The gap was 0.7 last time around. It's not going to be much different this time, is it? It was a good last corner there by Turley. Yeah, pretty much 0.6, but fastest lap to Max Turley, 2:04.269. But a 2:04.304, so less than a tenth quicker than Peterson. They're pushing each other along, these two leaders here. So, nothing happening up there, but there is a good battle coming onto the main straight now with Lawless and Lawless with a little bit of contact with Dean. There we go, so Phil Lawless just slowing down. He just touched bumpers with Dean. You can see a mark on the front right of Phil Lawless's car. There's a damage there. Yeah, he's only cruising as he goes by, but that's Dean ahead of Keane O'Brien and Gordon Kellett there. O'Brien looking for a way by. That is for 9th place overall. Keane O'Brien running 10th. Gordon Kellett, oh yeah, problem there for Phil Lawless. Bent front suspension, it looks like, actually. Unfortunately, look at this. Keane O'Brien down the outside. Almost gets the job done. Brave young man sitting around the outside. Contact from Dean, though, and sends him around, and Dean rejoins. Gordon Kellett goes around the outside of them both. They're 3 abreast now, coming up towards the S's. This mightn't be over just yet. Down into the S's, Kellett on the inside. And there's more contact, and around goes Simon Dean. He's in the wars again. It's Keane O'Brien getting away from the scene of the incident. Gordon Kellett getting by, and Dean finding himself with plenty of damage at the back of that one. Look at this now. Kellett looking for, he's got a run on Keane O'Brien, who's closing the door on him. So it's now O'Brien, Kellett and Dean. We just went back to this battle at the right time, didn't we? 3 very different racing lines being used at Lola Corner there. And the immaculate car of Simon Dean is no more as they head down towards 7A and B. Keane O'Brien, Gordon Kellett, Simon Dean. They come up out of 7A and B now. That's Christopher Grimes going nicely, well ahead of them. He's pulled away. 2 leaders as well, still absolutely together. Go by the start-finish line there. Fastest lap again for Turley, 2:03.593. Would have put him 4th or 5th on the grid that time, so it's obviously the rain is helping it dry there. Quite bright there again now. Peterson, Turley, Cullen, Maguire, Farrar going nicely. Victor Cullen and Shane Mcbride. That's Victor Cullen and Trevor Farrar side by side at turn 2 there. Challenge still hasn't come for the lead. I've been waiting for it, but I think they're just both right on the door handle. They're putting in good lap times, getting away from everybody else, but I don't think so. There again in the background is Victor Cullen side by side with Trevor Farrar at turn 3. The leaders are down into Bridgestone corner, long left-hand corner. And out onto the back straight again. Fastest lap to Max Turley, 2:03.593. But Peterson not looking ruffled. I think he's quicker at certain parts of the track. Every inch of tarmac being used there by Eddie Peterson. The gap out to 3 or 4 lengths as he goes down the back straight. 1 minute to go in this one. I think we will probably get another lap after this one. Peterson right in over the curbs now, beginning to chuck the car around a little bit more. He can obviously feel the grip under him through those Yokohama tyres. Down into Bahrain's bend to the right-hander and through the left. They both look like they're pushing a lot harder than they were. It would suggest it's fully dry conditions now. You can tell by the body language of the car there, they're beginning to flick them left and right, whereas when it's a little bit greasy in a front-wheel drive car, you've got to walk on eggshells, but they're beginning to grab the cars by the scruff. I think that might be suiting Peterson better. Is he getting away? Looks like he is. Turley very quick through the last corner and out of it, though, as they head up towards the final corner. Oh, here's a good scrap now. Farrar holding off Victor Cullen. And look who's caught them. It's Shane Mcbride from way back. This is a great debut for him in this class. Shane Mcbride going really well, and has caught these guys, as we said, from well back. He's been faster for the last 2 or 3 laps, and he's looking for a way by Shane Mcbride out over the curbs. Victor Cullen leaves the door open, and Shane says, I'll have a bit of that down the inside, up over the inside curb, and that's him up a place. Can he continue by Farrar? Because he gets a great run out. He can, side by side. Somebody getting a flag there. There's damage to their car. Not sure who that is, but 2 places in 1 corner. Shane Mcbride is on a roll here, isn't he? This is great stuff. He's up to 5th place. and just sweeps out. Big wide racing line. The two boys are still door handle the way they were a lap ago, and he's just driven by them and away. So this is the Johnny McCarthy car, which was for sale. Shane McBride decided to buy it. One shakedown in Kirkustown, and he's absolutely flying here, Shane McBride. Victor Cullen now in the second of the Beacon Medical cars, holding off the Ferrar Motors car of Trevor Ferrar. Runs that car on his own with his dad John, who's been involved in motorsport for many, many years. Car always absolutely immaculate, has been moving towards the front in recent times. Here they come down towards the S's again. I'd be interested to see Shane McBride's lap time, because he's just driving away from them there, isn't he? I know they're scrapping, but he's very, very quick. So we're on the final lap now. So looking for the leaders. Out on the international loop. Here they come back towards us for the final time through Bahrain's Bends, and the dreaded hops for Eddie Peterson, because Turley's not too far away. A last lap charge now by the Panasonic car of Max Turley, closes in on the brakes up over the inside curve. Turley having a real go here, reminiscent of his father there, up onto two wheels at the apex of that corner. Here they come back to paddock. That might have cost him a little bit of time though. Eddie Peterson has not made one mistake in this race, which is just as well, because Max Turley's been breathing down his neck for the duration. Here they are, Southside Motor Factor corners for the last time. This is going to add to his Coffee to Go Championship lead. Great stuff from Eddie Peterson in the Peterson's Cars Like New car across the line. It's a 1-2 for Murray Motorsport. Turley with a great drive to second place. Michael Cullen in the Beacon car in third. And Dave McGuire, it's going to be in fourth place. Great stuff. And then it's going to be the hero, isn't it? This is a great debut from Shane McBride. Here he comes, the blue and white car, checkered flag ready for him. He will be so happy with this one. Shane McBride, what a drive. Then it's Victor Cullen, who's disposed of Trevor Ferrar halfway around the lap. Then it is Christopher Grimes. And then it's going to be Cian O'Brien just ahead of Gordon Kellett. We're missing Dean. Now he's dropped back on the final lap. So great entertainment from the Fiesta ST. Still a few cars to finish. Chris Jones just coming down to go across the line. But there's the official result, the top 10. Fastest lap is Eddie Peterson, 2:02.672, Eddie Peterson. So here we go now, Dean just about holding off, or is he going to hold off Christopher Grimes Sr. as they go across the line? Just about. So an action-packed race there for Fiesta STs, and a few panels to be pushed out, and a little bit of petrol to be used to remove tar marks, no doubt, before race 2, but great entertainment. Peterson takes it from Turley and Michael Cullen. Back into Park Ferme now. It's the technical team do a great job policing these cars. They're all very equal, all one make cars. All the a lot of checks carried out on these cars all the time. Safety checks in the morning, and then technical checks in the afternoon, after qualifying and after the races. So they'll be doing all that again to ensure equality, which makes the racing so close. So it's been good entertainment so far. Well, the rain, I'm almost tempted to say the rain is cleared, because as soon as I say that, it may start raining again. Hopefully it won't. But we've got one more race before the lunch break here at the ICCR at Mondello Park. The ICCR is partnered up with digitalmotorsports.com in a multiple-year deal. Digital Motorsports are a global leader in supplying sims, and they run sim championships. They give expert advice, training. They've got driver trainers. They've got a virtual race academy here at Mondello Park in Suite 2. You can come down and book that. You can get training. You can drive any track in the world in any car you want. You can drive Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes around Mondello Park if you want on a sim, and they're not video games. They're very, very realistic. They even have a motion sim in there now, and they also have a new business premises in Green Oak Industrial Estate just off the N7. So it's always great to have them on board. Of course, we're live streaming today because of the Beacon Hospital, who have a sports clinic as well as having a men's health check that's very, very popular as well. And the next race we're going to be showing, and the last race before lunch, is going to be the Irish Touring Cars and Future Classics who'll run together. So that's ITCC and Precision Graphics Future Classic Racing Championship. So they're just leaving the pit lane now. It'll be interesting to see tyre choice. I'm sure they'll all go for slicks, because it doesn't look particularly well. I'm not the weather expert here today. It's all gone wrong for me on a number of occasions, and we've only just started racing, so I'll be careful what I say. On pole position for the Irish Touring Cars is Stephen Traub in the 2.4 Honda. Huge power from that Honda Integra, and he drives it superbly. Alongside him, a late entry is Owen Drought, the former rallyman, and joined the ITCC a few years back in a Honda Integra. Runs his own car sales business in Rosscray in County Tipperary, and he's bought this Golf and went really, really well. And Bishop scored in the car. Now it doesn't have the straight line power of Traub's car, but it does have dragster-like abilities off the line, or else it's Owen's reactions. But he was from the back of the grid up to second, and Bishop scored off the line, so we'll keep an eye on that. I may have jinxed him by saying that, who knows. Then it's David Flynn and Alan O'Neill. Then Paul Toomey, Adrian Doan, the incredible little supercharged Saxo. Great sound, one of the best sounding cars in the paddock. Then Stuart Curran and Stephen Martin. Then we move back to the Future Classics class. Now they run a barrier time, so they can only go to a certain pace. They get a penalty if they go beyond that. That'll be reflected in the live timing, and you'll see those penalties if they do incur them. But a very, very cheap and affordable way to get into motorsport. The Precision Graphics, J. O'Reilly's company, sponsoring that class this year. That blue punto out there is Ross Archibald, who runs the class. Well, it doesn't run it, there's a lot of guys run it, but he's the class coordinator, and he's rebuilt and repainted that XBT racing car. It looks superb. He's had a couple of glitches with it. The car was lying up outside. He's practically done a full restoration on it at this stage. I think Ken and Aidan Byrne helped him put a gearbox in yesterday when he had trouble, but he went very well in qualifying. Only got a couple of laps. So keep an eye out for Ross Archibald there. Mark Geraghty in the Civic there going through. Richard Shattuck in the bright yellow Honda Civic. And Ian Thornton, who we know from, he used to drive a Golf GTI and sometimes a Chevette. He's out in the white Celica at the top of your screen there. Then it's Raymond Mealy in the newer shape Celica, the blue car. And Paul Flanagan, Flanair in the Clio 172. Aidan Byrne, who's a current champion in this class and has won it a couple of times. Aidan Byrne's hugely experienced. Great guys, the Byrne family, another dynasty involved in racing in pretty much every class over the years. Aidan and his brothers always well ready to help someone out in the paddock if they're in trouble. And then Paddy Howley, who is, I think, out in the MG again. That's a former Mondello Park school car, but it's had a lot of development and ran right at the front in production ITCC before. Then we've Ross Archibald that we spoke about. We've Darren Foyle, Graham Carroll, Niall Marr from digitalmotorsport.com in the little MX-5, and Gilbert Clancy. So good grid in this one. Irish touring cars mixed with Future Classics. Okay, so slight change to the schedule. We're going to have another race after this one before the lunch break. So the Siltex Safety Fiesta Zetec will be going out before lunch. So I hope nobody misses the live stream, but you can watch it back, of course, as soon as it's big broadcast. With great coverage from See It Live here today at Mondello Park. Obviously the Beacon Hospital. So ITCC cars weaving around, running full slicks, of course. We don't run them in the Future Classics. The Future Classics cars won't be anywhere near the pace of the touring cars. They don't have the same brake horsepower, and they certainly don't have the same tyres. Aaron Lennon, unfortunately, heading for the pit lane. Not unfortunately, sorry, he didn't get out in qualifying. He got permission from the clerk of the course to start the pit lanes. No problem with that car. So look at this, the 2.4 Integra of Traub on the left-hand side. Owen Drought in the Owen Drought car sales car on the outside of the front row. Beautiful looking car, that Golf DSG gearbox. Just two pedals in the car, but if he can make a Bishop's Court type start, he should be well able to lead away, but I don't think he'll have the pace to stay ahead of Stephen Traub. He hasn't had much mileage in this car though, and only got a couple of laps of qualifying to get it onto the front row, so this could be quite interesting. Then David Flynn and Alan O'Neill, both very quick as well on row 2. Paul Toomey and Adrian Doan on row 3. And then it's Stuart Curran and Stephen Martin. Stephen Martin, the black Integra. Great grid here as the Future Classics come down. A little bit slow gridding up at the back there for some reason. Paul Flanagan just coming into position, so 3 or 4 more cars still to grid. We've got 2 more in the pit lane. lining up side by side, it looks like. Down there, Aaron Lennon. And sure who that is. We don't have that one on our grid sheet. 888 in the white MX-5. I'm sure it'll trigger on a transponder when it goes by us. Great grid of cars. 5-second board already up. Ross Archibald could get a rolling start here at the back. We're ready to go. Watch Owen Drought in the Golf on the right-hand side. And it's nice Straub that gets away every bit as quick as the Golf as they head away down towards turn 1. Drought having to go back at him though on the outside, gets the nose ahead, and the Golf is a little bit later on the brakes. It's not. Straub goes down the inside and takes it back and up over the inside curb there. Second lap being started now, but great stuff from the touring cars. There we go. Eugene McCann it is who gets away first in the MX-5. Great stuff from the Future Classics there as they head off the line. Slightly delayed start. That was Eugene McCann there. Stephen Healy, Barry Shannon and Mark Geraghty heading away. There we are down at turn 3. And look at Adrian Doan in the little supercharged Saxo. He's up to 3rd place and snapping at the heels of Owen Drought's Golf now in this one. Great stuff. Adrian Doan will be loving this. That's a proper Fred in a shed car. That was a Future Classics car. He's built it, developed it, built it, developed it. He never stops working on it. And it really shouldn't be up there with these high power cars. And it probably won't be with these big long straights on the international track. But Adrian Doan, the electrician, AD Electrical, set up his own business recently, going very well. Gets a lot of business from within the paddock, something we're very fond of in Mondello Park. And he's going superbly. Look at the little Saxo in 3rd place. And he's late on the brakes. There's very little weight in that car. Down the outside of Owen Drought. Will he get it turned in? He doesn't quite. He needs all the runoff and a little bit more, but he's still in 3rd place. So great stuff. They're all out there. Look, it's very slippy down in 7A by the look of it. That's Stephen Martin there, but he hung on to it and got it back onto the track. You still see specks of water on the, as Owen Drought goes very wide at Bahrain's Bend, you can still see specks of water on the lens of the camera down there, so it is very, very wet. So Straub it is leading, but Owen Drought pushing hard to try and hang on to him here. But Drought, as we said, hasn't got much mileage in this car, so he should get quicker as the race goes on. And the Golf certainly handles very well. It's got plenty of power, but I don't think it has the power of a 2.4 Integra. And here he comes, hasn't lost too much ground. And the hero then in 3rd place, Adrian Doan. There it is, AD Electrical on the side of the car. Great to see that. He's always working on this little car. This is where he might fall victim to a Honda maybe. No, it looks good. It sounds fantastic. The roar of that car when he goes by. So the order as they went by was Stephen Traub, Owen Drought, Adrian Doan, David Flynn, Alan O'Neill, Paul Toomey, Stephen Martin and Stuart Curran. So this is great stuff. So Traub beginning to just ease away a little bit now. He was just a second quicker the last time around, the gap at 1.2, but Owen Drought very quick into turn 3, certainly quicker through the first bit of turn 3, up over that inside curve now. Doan going nicely. He's not under pressure, Adrian Doan. David Flynn behind him going nicely in that lovely Integra, really clean car. And then it's Alan O'Neill, Paul Toomey and Stephen Martin. And just as I name checked them, one of them exit stage left into the gravel. So waves yellows there. Absolutely fine, but just bogged down in the gravel there. We're just trying to get the car out, but the gravel is always well raked and pretty deep. And Owen Drought hanging on now, is he? Out front, I think he is in the Golf as they go out onto the back straight. Wonder, could we see a scrap at the front of this one? Stephen Traub, he's closer possibly. Stephen Traub is very quick, he doesn't make mistakes, and he's done most of the winning in touring cars, but certainly this is as closely as we've seen him challenged in a while at Mondello Park. Owen Drought going nicely in the Golf. Drought's still a little bit wide through the first bit of Bahrain's Bend. Drought there and having to swerve back to the right to get the left. That might cost him a length or two. You can see the gap maybe out a little bit again, but certainly in terms of outright pace, there's not much in it in this battle up front. So Traub doesn't need to make any mistakes here. He's going to want to keep the head down and get away. Safety car is being dispatched. Well, this is going to be interesting. This will close them right up. There you go. That's the BMW Ireland M3 competition safety car. If you want to drive that car at Mondello Park, you can. You drive it at high speed around Mondello Park. The BMW M Experience, one of the many experiences here at Mondello Park. Log on to mondellopark.ie. You can drive Porsche Cayman S's, you can drive an M5 competition, that M3 competition, an M4, single seaters, pretty much loads of different cars. And yeah, you can do that during the week, you can do it the weekends, have a look at those experiences. They've moved on a lot in the last few years. Certainly that BMW experience, you can really have a go at some of those M cars, and they're not slow. So yellow flag out, but it's actually a safety car board as well. So the safety car being dispatched out to round these cars up. Eugene McCann leads the Future Classics from Stephen Healy and Mark Geraghty. Paul Flanagan from Wellback to 4th place ahead of Richard Shattuck. Aidan Byrne up a couple of places as well. Ian Thornton, Niall Marr also up a few places. Then Raymond Mealy and Paddy Howley. That's the Super Future Classics class. And in Future Classics, which is slightly slower, Gilbert Clancy leads Stephen Marr, Graham Carroll, Darren Foyle, and Ross Archibald, and Aaron Lannan and Barry Shannon. So the rescue crew are down there already to pull that car out of the gravel. This should be interesting because it did look like Owen Drought had similar pace. Certainly wasn't much in it, so it'll be interesting to see when they get going again, depending on how they manage the safety car restart. Always a difficult thing to do. You're not allowed to pass before the start-finish line, but the safety car peels off. It's up to the leader to go back up to racing speed at whatever point he deems he chooses to. So tactics can become a big factor. Well, if you're watching the live timing, I think there might be a slight mistake there. It's showing David Flynn leading from Stephen Traub and Owen Drought, but certainly the order I see on track and you see on the live stream is Stephen Traub leading from Owen Drought and Adrian Doan. I'm not sure if Adrian Doan can hang on there, but if he can, that'll be very, very impressive stuff in the little Saxo. He's ahead of some big hitters there, some high-powered cars behind him. Lights are still flashing on the BMW safety car. That means we're going to keep going for another lap. When you see those lights going out on the roof, that means the clerk of the course has been in touch from the tower to tell him he can come back in. He'll peel off into the pit lane. They'll be able to resume racing. So Ian Beattie from Mondello Park is clerk of the course today. He'll be on the radio to the BMW safety car driver. Future Classics, of course, they had a delayed start and they don't have the pace of the touring cars, but they haven't actually caught the safety car train just yet. So safety cars still leading the Irish touring cars. Stephen Traub weaving around from left to right, trying to keep some heat in these slick racing tyres. So it's Traub from Drought, Adrian Dunn, David Flynn, Alan O'Neill, Stephen Martin and Stuart Curran, I should say, the ITCC. Paul Flanagan was first to cross the line last time in the Super Future Classics in the little Clio 172, lovely little car. Paul Flanagan, known for some Fiat racing, Unos and then Puntos, then brought his Punto into Future Classics and then upgraded to this little Clio 172. Future Classics, as we said, a very cost-effective way to get out racing. They have a great little team amongst themselves. They all help each other. You quite often see 5 or 6 of them working on one car, which is always a great sign. A great social element to the racing as well. Sponsored by Precision Graphics on the safety cars peeling off. We're going back racing. This will be crucial. Owen Drought needs to stay right on the back bumper of that Integra, which is exactly what he's doing. He's going to get a better pull out of the corner. They're out onto the main straight. They're both opening the throttles. They've left a little Saxo behind, and there's not much in it, but the Honda just a little bit quicker as they go across the line. Down to the little Saxo down into turn 1. Traub not taking any chances in case Owen Drought takes a dive down the inside centre of the road for him down into turn 1. They're all clean through there, not a bother, and the Future Classics approaching the final corner, so they'll be starting there shortly. But Owen Drought quicker again through turn 2. He gets tantalisingly close to the back of that Honda, which then just eased out. But watch him going through the first bit of turn 3. Here it goes, down to 2 lengths, down to almost down to 1 length. He's very quick through there, right up over the inside curb. He gets a great run out as well. Owen Drought now with a big challenge on the way up the hill, coming down into the S's. And Traub could be in a spot of bother here. Owen Drought looking very racy, coming down into Bridgestone corner. The 2 cars together. The beauty of Irish touring cars, 2 very different cars. The little Saxo drifting around behind them. But here's where the Honda should come into itself. Up that long hill, up Kennedy's Rise, and then through Lola corner. And indeed it does. The gap goes out by maybe a couple of lengths. Both through that long right-hand corner. The gap increases again as they come out onto the back straight. That Honda's so quick, and as we said, Traub drives it beautifully. He just doesn't make any mistakes. Down to 7A and B. This is where the Golf might come back at him a bit on the brakes. Indeed it does. So the gap ebbing and flowing all the way around the lap. And Adrian Doan still hanging on there in 3rd place despite the best advances of, is that David Flynn behind him? I think it is. Here they come through Bahrain's bends. Drought again, just that fraction too quick into the first bit, and that allows him to go wide and slows him slightly for the second one. In fact, the gap opening all the way around the lap a little bit now for the lead here, so it looks like the Golf just doesn't quite have the pace around the lap of the Integra. Oh, we're missing Adrian Doan. Where's he gone in the background? Our hero from 3rd place gone missing. That is such a shame. He's come out onto the main straight again. Drought not really out near the exit curb there. The gap wide, 2.1 seconds the gap. There's Adrian Doan going slowly at the top of it, just coming onto the main straight. That is such a shame. I wonder, was he off track? Listen to it as it goes by. No, he's just cruising. There's obviously a problem with that car. That is such a shame. I was delighted to see that car going so well. I know how much hard work he's put into it, and it would have been great to see him get a podium, but he'll be happy with that because that's progress, and it's a lot of progress for him. And, he could be a thorn in the side of some of the bigger cars as Traub begins to really open the taps on the big 2.4 Honda now and just stretch out that gap, but he locks the wheel, showing how hard he's pushing. Drought does the same, locks the inside front. That was the rear wheel on the Integra. But both are really having a go here as they begin to try and one trying to catch the other trying to get away. Nobody's staying with these two, 1st and 2nd in ITCC. Flynn is up to 3rd place now, O'Neill up to 4th place. Adrian Doan was 5th when he went by, but I think he's pulled in. Then Stuart Curran, and look at the gap opening up there out front. Traub just once they get out onto that international loop, he just really pulls away strongly. And even though Drought may be a little bit quicker through the tight corner, it's not enough to balance the gap there as they go by. Great shot of them coming up over the crest of the hill. You can see that rise. They come up there, makes the corner exit even more crucial when you're coming up a hill on the way out. Same as Bridgestone corner at the back of the S's. Here they go. Stephen Traub in the 2.4 Honda Integra. Stays off the curbs, both the apex curb and the exit curb, as indeed does Owen Drought. Track now fully dry. We can see that by the lap times. BetterDeal.ie is the title sponsor this year, so the BetterDeal.ie ITCC. Traub goes down into turn 1. Let's have a look at the lap times. Fastest lap for Traub, 151.328, which is 0.6 quicker than his qualifying lap, a 52.2 for Owen Drought, which is a full second quicker than he went in qualifying. So as I said, he's just getting used to the car, but the gap opening up to just over 3 seconds last time around. There's Owen Drought, the Tipperary garage man. He owns Owen Drought Car Sales on the Templemore Road out of Rosscray. Very well known in the Midlands of the motor trade. Equally well known on the rally stages for many years now at Mondello Park. Traub locking the inside front. If Owen Drought can see that, he won't lift off. He'll keep trying. He's obviously on the limit there, coming down into Bridgestone corner. And again, the car moving a little bit in the exit. So Traub really pushing hard. It's Aaron Lanan in the Punto. I think that might be a problem with that car. It's going very slowly. They just put a lap on him. Aaron Lanan from John Lanan Motors, the Fiat and Opel dealer, Rathnew in County Wicklow. Again, a locked wheel for Traub, and again, as he's down into 7A and B, he's got a problem with the brakes, so he's just pushing hard. He could be just pushing really, really hard. As we said, he's gone quicker than under his qualifying time, so he's obviously right on it here. And again, a lock up there. Lots of lock brakes for this Honda Integra. It's not slowing him down at all, though. I wonder, is it snatching a brake somewhere? Is this just him pushing? No, he went out a little bit. Did he go a little bit wide there? I wonder, is there a braking issue here? This is interesting. So how long have we got to go? Just 42 seconds to go because we've had the safety car. So there'll be another lap after this one, and that'll be it. I don't think Owen Drought can do anything about that. Look at the lead that Stephen Traub has pulled out. He's writing it. Maybe he's just on the door handles, trying really hard, trying to get a lap time. Oh, Future Classics are battling, aren't they? Eugene McCann, Janie Mack right at the back of that one. That's his social media name. He's trying to get a look down the inside of Ian Thornton. There's Paul Flanagan, Flanair in the 172, going beautifully, the little Clio. Mark Geraghty goes through in the Civic. Then it's Shattuck, I think it is. And on the outside, that's a great battle. It is indeed. Aidan Byrne looking for a look down the inside. Ian Thornton, that is the white Celica in front of him. So great variety of cars going through: a Civic, 2 Celicas, and an MX-5 having a real go. No doors being left open at all. Eugene McCann fancies a run around the outside of Aidan Byrne there. That's Stephen Maher, 888 in the... Eugene McCann getting so sideways there. Stephen Maher reeling them in. 3 MX-5s in a row there. That's Richard Shattuck, that is, who's leading the class now in this one. That's the front car here. Looking down the inside though. Oh, there's contact there on the main straight. Didn't know he was there, just moved straight back out. No malice really there. That was Shattuck knew he was there, just felt the contact and got back out. But sideways stuff from who's that? It's Ian Thornton, of course. Sorry about that. Ian Thornton is getting sideways on the brakes and just flicking the car in. So some real action going on there. The checkered flag is being prepared below us, and the leaders should be coming back into the main arena shortly. Great Future Classic battle, but our leader is coming up to the final corner now. And there he goes, Stephen Traub there coming out of the final corner in the Honda. He's driven a faultless race from pole position to take the ITCC win. Great stuff. And a good drive from Owen Drought to second place, keeping him honest all the way. Very similar lap times at the end there, but yeah, Drought will be happy with that one, second place. Then David Flynn, Alan O'Neill. That was Adrian Doan going by, but he's dropped way, way back. In fact, possibly a lap down he has. Maybe looking for a finish. So great stuff from ITCC there. And despite the best efforts of Owen Drought, Stephen Traub taking the win from pole position. There's Stephen Martin coming down towards us. Stuart Curran there as well. That's Aaron Lannan going through. He's down a lap. So that battle is still raging out on the Bahrain's bends and coming back round towards the last 2 corners. There it is. They picked it up. Great stuff. It's Armageddon and MX-5s here. Stephen Maher has got ahead of Eugene McCann, who's drifting the car around trying to stay with him. Stephen Maher smasher started right at the back. It's a good run from him up over the inside curve and right out onto the exit curves there. These guys really on the door handles of the little MX-5s. And coming down to take the checkered flag is going to be Paul Flanagan, but I think I see, do we see we've got to check the barrier times and the penalties, but no, it's Richard Shattuck in the yellow Civic that's going to take the win. Paul Flanagan just eclipsed it, and he's going to be second place. Niall Maher from way, way back on the grid, the Future Classics man, he'd be delighted with this one, Niall Maher. Third place for him. Mark Geraghty in fourth, Aidan Byrne in fifth, Stephen Maher. But here's the ITCC results now. Stephen Traub takes the win with a fastest lap of 151.328. Owen Drought in second place, then David Flynn, Alan O'Neill, Stuart Curran, Stephen Martin, and then the Future Classics is Richard Shattuck, Paul Flanagan, Niall Maher and Mark Geraghty. So great entertainment from both classes there. Absolutely fantastic stuff. If we go back to the Future Classics non-super, Gilbert Clancy takes that one from Darren Foyle, Graham Carroll, Ross Archibald and Aaron Lannan. So great stuff. The Fiesta STs, the Coffee to Go cars still in technical examination there. So the Future Classic cars coming back into the paddock. Well, good entertainment. This top tin top entertainment. And if that's your bag, as the fella says, next up is the Zetec Safety Fiesta Zetec Championship. Now, this is probably the biggest grade, or one of the biggest grades to run here in recent years. The success of the class has been absolutely incredible. The presentation of the cars is superb, and some really experienced drivers with some raw novices out there. So it's just been absolutely wonderful. Such is the future, the size of the class, that Mondello Park had to apply to increase the number of cars on their license, to run the number of cars on their license at one time. 36 cars today lining up at Mondello Park. So it's absolutely fantastic to see. It's a great class, a budget class. You can pick these cars up for $2,500, $4,000 probably for the top cars. They've gone up a little bit lately. The bits can be a little bit hard to get in certain places, but most of them are okay to get. Loads of spare cars available. In fact, some people have one or two of them here at Mondello Park. There are always parts. There were text messages going around looking for parts and lights this morning and panels. So while they just line up and get ready to go out onto their warm-up lap, we're just going to take a quick break here. Okay, well, a little bit of whispering in my ear. We're not going on a break. We're going to follow these cars around. I'll run through the grid because that's going to take a while on its own. Just watch these cars going out. Absolutely fantastic to see them. So many drivers, a lot of novices out there too, but a lot of hugely experienced competitors. Michael Barrable, 1995 Sexton Trophy winner, former Fiat Uno Cup winner in 1996, former National Rally winner, very, very, very experienced. Johnny Whelan, who's a former Supercar champion, former double Supercar champion, former Striker champion. They're on the front row of the grid together. There are some raw novices out there. There's some absolute Fiesta experts. Ian Fishburne out there. Alan Dawson has won in many, many classes. So he's also experienced. So the grid is Michael Barrable. Then it's Johnny Whelan alongside. Then it's Phil Lawless from Mondello, who we saw in the ST race earlier on. Then it's Andy Kavanagh in the Miles Plus car. Then it's Keith Rabbit in the Rapco car. He was a great addition to the championship. Almost didn't get in this morning because it was oversubscribed, but somebody had a problem in qualifying, I think, and that's how Keith Rabbit is on the grid. Qualified fifth. Keith Dawson alongside him, great to see. Ulick Burke in the Tyre Brigade car, another former champion. Ulick Burke is the current and reigning Irish Touring Car champion. Alongside him, 48 Alan Dawson in the Sheds Direct car. Then Collie Barrable, Bobby Turley, Amy Woods going nicely. She's always putting it up to the men in this class. Amy Woods on row 6, Caleb Shanley alongside her, Kieran Larkin, James Byrne, who's leading the Rookie Cup. There's a very competitive Rookie Cup this year for people in their first year, and there are 13 drivers with a brand new license racing for the first time this year in this class, 13, so it's great for Irish motorsport. Next up, Richie Byrne, Lara Whelan, who always goes well. He was the best rookie last year. Ian Fishburne, I don't know what happened to Ian, I didn't get a chance to speak to him, but watch out for the Fish Graphics car. He's a winner in this class and he's always up the front, and he's down on row 9, so he's got a lot of work to do. Mick Keogh alongside him, beautifully presented car, new build. Mick Keogh, well known to us from other disciplines. He's done multi-venue auto tests and he's done a lot of other stuff, but he came into Fiesta racing last year. That's him, the blue and white car, absolutely superbly prepared, that car. It would put many far more expensive cars to shame. He's done superb work on that over the winter. And then Eduardo Gonzaga, our Brazilian driver, who's also going well. He's running second in the Rookie Cup, watch out for him, carrying Ayrton Senna's logo and picture on the side of that car. He contacted the Ayrton Senna Foundation in Brazil, told them he wanted to celebrate the fact that it's 40 years since Ayrton Senna raced and won here at Mondello Park, and they agreed and sent him the logos. So that's absolutely wonderful. He's got that on the side of his car. Then Brian Hutton, another beautifully turned out car. Then Tina O'Sullivan Irwin. I'm not going to give her age away, but Tina O'Sullivan is having her first. Tina O'Sullivan Irwin is having her first race today. She's 3 kids later, she said to me with a big smile, and she's well up the grid on her first ever race. Then Zach Bambrick, Lorcan McGivney, Brian Matthews in the Patch Tire Equipment car, another beautifully prepared car, John Burke Motors car, Sam Keogh, Cathal Ward, Matthew Crawt in the MSL car, Laura Hannon for Digital Motorsports, Luke Noon, Kelsey Kirby, beautifully wrapped car, just Came to Mondello yesterday. It looks absolutely fantastic. Mark O'Donoghue, Stephen Cullinan, Keelan Noon and Cole McLaughlin. It took a full lap of the international circuit for me to get through the whole grid there. That'll show you how many cars are out on this grid. And Neil Murphy from Zetec Safety, the title sponsor, is here today. He's very much involved in this class and the running of it and in the day-to-day admin, and he actually drove one of these cars down through Nace in the Cannonball Retro Parade on Friday night, and a great night was had. But on pole position is 22 Michael Barrable, the reigning champion from last year and the championship leader, but a danger man alongside him, Johnny Whelan. On the outside of the front row, car number 2, and Phil Lawless, a very, very quick man in the Fiesta, and alongside him, Andy Kavanagh. Then it's Keith Rabbit, and it's Keith Dawson alongside him, all the Keiths on row 3. And it is Ulick Burke and Alan Dawson. There's some amount of experience on this and success on this grid. Just look at them coming out of Southside Motor Factory's corner, the Zetec Safety Fiestas, by far the biggest grid now racing at the ICCR. Somebody in trouble in the pit lane, unfortunately, one of the cars. It's the Tire Brigade car. Unfortunately, car number 14. It doesn't look like it's going to make it onto the grid. That's such a shame. Not sure which car that is. It's Cathal Ward. Cathal Ward, who's just going out in this car for the weekend, but obviously a problem for him there on the warm-up lap, and he's not going to start from the pit lane. He's gone back into the pits. That's a shame. Mind you, he's got a good team with him. I do think they will have that car out for race 2. We should be almost, I'm sure Michael Barrable and Johnny Whelan are wondering what's happening. And what's happening is the 36 cars are being gridded up behind you. Doesn't that look absolutely fantastic? And just shows you how well the ICCR is going here at Mondello Park. Great stuff. A lot of these are newcomers, which is great for the sport. Here we go. Is it going to be Barrable or Whelan? 2 hard racers, loads of racecraft. Whelan gets away first and just moves straight across and drives into Michael Barrable. That's crazy stuff from Whelan there. Just drives straight into Barrable. And then a big armful of opposite lock. Michael Barrable, I think, backed out of it, thinking of the championship, but I'm not so sure about that one. There's always a bit of madness when Johnny Whelan's around, but that, I don't think he'd even got into second gear there. But he certainly did get the jump. He got a great initial jump, Johnny Whelan, but Brian Matthews there in the patch tire equipment car there too. So Johnny Whelan leads, but already on the attack is Michael Barrable. Michael Barrable's superb in traffic. Then it's Andy Kavanagh up to 3rd place. Then Phil Lawless. And it looks like Keith Dawson. They're trying to go around the outside of Keith Rabbit is Alan Dawson. Keith Rabbit goes back at him. And Barrable, Ulick Burke, Kaleem Shamley, James Byrne going nicely. The rookie leader, Amy Woods. Bobby Turley coming through, Eduardo Gonzaga there, Kelsey Kirby in the middle of it too. Great action all the way back. Somebody locking brakes. Oh, Barrable looking busy there, all over the back bumper of Johnny Whelan. Hey Johnny, I didn't like that little bump you gave me, so here's a kiss on the back bumper for you as they head out onto the loop. Andy Kavanagh right with them though, just back from a family holiday in the United States, so all the Zetec guys felt like they were on holidays with him. And Brian Matthews moving around there in that car, beautifully turned out car, another car with a full wrap on it. It's a full replica of Craig Breen's WRC car, that patch tire equipment Fiesta right at the back. So here comes Johnny Whelan. Is he going to leave the door open? He leaves it half open, doesn't he? Almost tempting Barrable to have a go, but it's very hard to make a break. Look at this, Lawless is in on it now, and he's brought Keith Dawson with him and Alan Dawson. Then it's Collie Barrable. And it looks like Ulick Burke in the mix next up. Eduardo Gonzaga getting by somebody there. Look on the left, very left of this group going towards it, the black and white car. That's Ian Fishburne. We'll see how many places he's made up when he goes by, because he's got a lot of work to do. And Barrable having a look down the inside. Whelan has it covered though. Johnny Whelan massively experienced. All round goes Amy Woods. Bobby Turley making contact with the rear of her car there. She should be able to get going again. She's just getting in off the curb. She just about drove off to try to get away from all those cars coming through and rejoins. Very clever thinking there. And again, Whelan going uber defensive. Michael Barrable looking for a gap as he got up the inside. That's what Barrable's trying to do. Oh, Whelan just drives across the track again. This is going to be a little bit hectic, I feel. Johnny Whelan uber defensive there. Some hand signals in the car as they go by us. Barrable and Burke go by as well. Whelan down the inside. Barrable right with him. And it's Kavanagh, Phil Lawless, and it's Alan Dawson who's got by Keith Dawson. Alan Dawson's got made a lot of places up here, and Alan Dawson's got fastest lap. It is just a single lap, and it wasn't a standing start, but still. So Barrable just looking for a gap anywhere. It does look like he's got pace here down into turn 3, but Whelan is a master. He's been around Mondello Park for many years in many different cars, and he will know his way around this track. There's somebody going wide, Lara Whelan, that is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars for the lead now. And Michael Barbell again, much quicker wheeling, slowing them all down through that corner. Quite obvious he's not going to let anyone have a run at him on the way up the hill. He stays to the right. Barbell just feints to the right, go back to the left. Barbell almost in the back seat of Johnny Whelan's car now as they head up Kennedy's Rise and through the right-hander, which is Lola Corner. Great stuff. There's Laura Hannon in the Digital Motorsport car making her race debut. And Barbell's got, no, I thought he had got up the inside. Johnny Whelan thought he had got up the inside, but no, Johnny just contained it at the last minute. That allows Phil Lawless, though, to get down the inside in his new car of the More Miles car, or the Miles Plus car, I should say, of Andy Kavanagh. And Alan Dawson comes through as well, and there's the contact. We knew that was coming. Whelan just uber defensive everywhere, and Barbell got the nose alongside. And once again, Johnny Whelan just closing the door. Barbell having to back out of it. I think Michael Barbell is thinking of the championship here. I don't know what Johnny Whelan's thinking of, but it's a little bit crazy out front. Whelan through the right, then through the left. Car number 2 still leads. Lawless now up to second. A real Mondello man on his tail. Phil Lawless works here during the week. Look at Alan Dawson down the outside, so late on the brakes, and gets around Andy Kavanagh. And that's what Barbell is trying to do as well. Collie Barbell in the mix now also. And Keith Dawson, Ulick Burke having to go. Caleb Shanley's going really well. He doesn't have any of the experience of the guys in front of him. That's the blue car at the back, beautifully turned out car. He has been going really well. He went well in Bishop's Court, and he's up with some big names here. That car, he's trying to go around the outside now, Ulick Burke, and he's the reigning Irish Touring Car champion. So Shanley doing really well here. James Byrne, the rookie leader, right with them as well. Warning flag being shown to somebody there, I'm not surprised. But as they all go by, the media team getting some great shots. There's the lap times of Whelan. It is still out front. Phil Lawless wondering, how should I tackle this man as he gets up behind him. Barbell's still there in 4th place though, but Alan Dawson is the big mover. Keith Dawson beginning to make, Keith Rabbit beginning to move forward a little bit as well. Keith, who was fastest lap? Caleb Shanley, fastest lap. Well, there you go, 2:15.246. Quicker than all the guys in front. The bright blue cars in 9th place there, really driving well. We said it in Bishop's Court, and it's happening again here at Mondello Park. He's having a great go. James Byrne as well, side by side now with Keith Rabbit, but he's very, very quick for a newcomer, and he's leading the Rookie Cup. There's Mick Keogh in the middle of some action there behind them. So Whelan still leads. Phil Lawless now trying to get the run at him. This is where Whelan doesn't like anyone getting a run on him on the way up the hill. And Lawless, I think, has a run as they go into 3rd gear around here. Whelan just manages to pull a length on the way up the hill though. There's Mick Keogh using all the curves a little bit more. That's Mark O'Donoghue just ahead of Mick Keogh. Now he started way back. A terrible qualifying for Mark O'Donoghue. Very quick driver. I don't know what he was doing back there, but Mark O'Donoghue on a bit of a charge coming up through the grid as well. Great racing from the Siltec safety Fiesta Zetec now down into 7A and B. Alan Dawson late on the brakes, trying to close in on Phil Lawless. Lawless right in the mix here, just having got out of his ST straight back into the Zetec. And trying to have a go now with Johnny Whelan. 3 abreast in the background, not bothering Johnny. Through the left, through the right, and through the left, right in over the curb on the left-hander. Beginning to get away just a little bit there. Ulick Burke, Barbell, Keith Dawson, Caleb Shanley, James Byrne. Keith Dawson. There's the Fish Graphics car. We were waiting for that to arrive, so making progress forwards as well. There's Noon going through, and Gonzaga right there with him as well. 1, 2, 3, absolutely together now coming out onto the main straight. Johnny Whelan. Flag still being shown. I can't see the number on that one, unfortunately. I'll try and get a look at it when they pull it back in. But it is Whelan leading this one. Flag being shown, mechanical damage flag being shown to one of the car as well. The meatball, as the drivers call it. Number 2, mechanical damage for number 2. Oh no, a warning for number 2. So that's Johnny Whelan. They're showing it to me there. Thanks very much, guys. Johnny Whelan's getting a warning for driving standards out front. No surprise there. The black and white flag being waved. He's being a little bit too defensive, I think, up front. No doubt he will argue the point when he gets out of the car, but there was some crazy stuff going on there when Barbell challenged him for the lead. Here they come now up out of turn 3. Johnny Whelan, no shortage of talent, but a little bit wild today. Whelan leads. 2nd place is Phil Lawless. 3rd place is Alan Dawson, who's done really well here. He's made up a lot of places. And then always present is Michael Barbell there in 4th place. And Barbell racking up the championship points in his head, no doubt, as he's out there. He's the reigning champion, and he's the championship leader this year already. Right out to the outside. There's Keith Rabbit in the Rapco car. Oh, Bobby Turley going a little bit wide. A few of them going a little bit wide there. The front tyres probably a little bit overused at this stage in the race. They tend to be quite hard on their tyres. They're heading down the long back straight here now. 4th gear in these Fiestas. So Phil Lawless now hasn't really had a pop at Johnny Whelan. I don't know if he's sizing him up or he's going to wait a little bit later on. But Whelan it is from Lawless, Dawson, Michael Barrable, and Andy Kavanagh. Back towards Bahrain's Benz again. Whelan with a lovely flick in the car there. Doesn't defend at all. Flicks him. He's gone in a little bit quick and a little bit wide. Is that going to let Lawless have a go at him? I think it is. Lawless gets alongside on the outside, but he's going to be wrong-footed when he comes back to the inside here, and Alan Dawson will surely have a go. No, Lawless managed to carry that speed around the outside and hang on to it there. Not sure how long. There's still 6 minutes left in this one. What a cracking race in the Zetec Safety Fiesta Zetec. Great championship, really is, for the budget tin tops. Johnny Whelan doesn't defend. He's very confident and very experienced. He's very late on the brakes, so he knows he's not going to get out-braked into Southside Motor Factory's corner. Barrable gets up the inside. Alan Dawson just pulls across in front of him there and finds himself with a little bit of opposite luck. Alan Dawson waving no. I think if somebody gets up to the inside of you outside the final corner, it's job done. But Alan Dawson disagrees as they head down to turn one. So Barrable now locking up as he goes into turn one. Max's corner, it's been renamed this weekend. And Keith Dawson going through there. Caleb Shanley and James Byrne inside the top 10. One of the rookies in the top 10. Very impressive stuff from James Byrne. He's done most of the winning in the rookies this year. So up they come out of turn 3 now. It's getting very windy again, almost blustery out there. Johnny Whelan leads. Phil Lawless in second. Alan Dawson in third. Then Andy Kavanagh, Michael Barrable. Barrable again looking for the overlap. He lost the place to Andy Kavanagh down at turn 1, but he's got a great run on the way out there, but he's on the wrong side at the top of the hill now. Don't know if he's going to try a switchback or will he sit around the outside. Yeah, switches back to the inside. Good stuff from Barrable. That should be enough there. And Phil Lawless now gets the run on Johnny Whelan. Into fourth gear, down the back straight. There's a kink left before 7A and B. Barrable's got the job done in the background to get up that place. I think he will feature in this one before the end again. Wheeling up over that inside curb. Lawless just in his wheel tracks. Hasn't had a go at him just yet, bar that one time when he got alongside him after Bahrain's Benz. But that was more due to a little mistake from Whelan than anything else. Great balance at Whelan's car there when he flicks it in. It does turns in beautifully and goes into a small, almost like a four-wheel drift on the entrance to Bahrain's Benz. So Whelan, Lawless and Dawson as one, then Barrable and Andy Kavanagh. Then Ulick Burke, who's come up well, Irish Touring Car champion, and Barrable, Colin Barrable, Keith Dawson, Caleb Shanley and James Byrne. Oh, Michael Barrable using all the curb and a little bit more there. And again, Lawless just in the wheel tracks there. They come out onto the main straight and not much in the straight line. Let's watch this. I think Whelan probably has a little bit in hand here in the straight. He does. He begins to pull away just a little bit. Has a full length by the start-finish line, so he's certainly a little bit quicker in a straight line, Johnny Whelan. There's the meatball flag, as the drivers call it, black with a red circle in the middle, showing a mechanical defect on one of the cars. Gaggles of cars racing all the way down the grid here. That's car number 27. Is that Keith Rabbit? It is. Keith Rabbit is the one getting the mechanical defect. Oh, look at this. Richie Byrne round the outside now of Eduardo Gonzaga. Mike Keogh right in the mix there as well. And is that Matthew brought in there in the MSL car? I think it is. Battle still raging for the lead though out the front. Johnny Whelan still leads from Phil Lawless. 3 minutes and 5 seconds still to go. They will get another lap after this one. Be a long lap for Johnny Whelan. Here he comes down into Bridgestone corner. Hasn't made any mistakes, Johnny. Well, maybe some tactical ones, but he hasn't made any driving mistakes. There's been no going wide or anything like that for Johnny Whelan. He's got the wipers on the way up the hill now. He knows he's in the closing stages, so defensive time again for Johnny. Probably knows he's not going to get away. It's unusual in a Zetec race that somebody gets away. There's the Fish Graphics car heading up the hill. That's been a good race for him. But Lawless almost getting up the inside. I think he's got the job done, but I think Whelan's car slightly faster in a straight line. That allows him to pull back in. There's very little in it though, but certainly on the main straight the last time Whelan pulled a length on the lap before, so I think that might have helped. And Lawless goes at him on the brakes. Whelan up over the inside curb at 7A and right over the inside curb at 7B. All four cars so closely matched. It really is, it's great to see as they head up the hill and through the right-hander. And in the background there, Ulick Burke having to go defensive because Keith Dawson on a charge looking to get by him. No mistakes for our leader, Johnny Whelan. 2 minutes and 5 to go, so we will definitely get another lap after this one. Johnny Whelan had a car badly marked down both sides, I think, well, certainly on the driver's side. Through the left-hander. Michael Barrable now has got away from Andy Kavanagh. He's up close enough to have a go at Alan Dawson. Barrable down the outside. He's a master of getting the nose up the inside on the exit of a corner, Barrable. That's what he's trying to do there. This time he tucks in behind Dawson, now back out again. And at that warning flag again being shown there. Let's see who it is. Can't see a number on that board. Oh, thanks, guys. 48, Alan Dawson now getting the slap on the wrist. So Alan Dawson, that's surely for that closing the door moment coming out of the final corner. It's got to be for that. It was just a little bit too much. I think he had an overlap there and just slammed the door. But that's all this allowing Johnny Whelan to get away on the final lap. I'm assuming it's the final lap. It is, because we've got just a minute to go on the clock. So Johnny Whelan looking good here for a win if he survives the inquest afterwards. And Phil Lawless goes at him on the brakes now. At turn 3, Lawless so late on the brakes down into second gear, and he's right on the back again. He had made a break, but Phil Lawless very quick through turn 3. Down into the S's now, Bridgestone corner. You all get them turned in. They run standard spec shocks on these cars. They run a lowering spring, Yokohama tyres. About €100 a corner, a little bit less maybe plus VAT. They're not that dear, and their cars are relatively inexpensive to run. They're not tuned engines really. You're allowed up the compression ratio a little bit. And there's the fish car of Ian Fishburne still trying to make up places. He's got, how far up has he got now? Ian Fishburne's 11th, which is good. Oh, Barrable's got up the inside of Dawson, and once again, Dawson just closing the door on the way out of Lola corner, the quick right-hander there. I think there'll be a run to the line there. Barrable will surely have another go at that. As our starter climbs the steps with the checkered flag in his hand. That's Fergus Brennan is doing the starter and finisher here today. Barrable now on the last lap moving around behind Alan Dawson. Dawson goes defensive, centre of the road on the way up to Bahrain's Bends. Whelan gives that usual flick in there. The car looks really balanced as he comes in there. He's got about a length clear, so there won't be any dives just yet. For the last time now through the long left-hander, second gear in these little cars. It's Whelan, it's Lawless, it's Alan Dawson in the Sheds Direct car, Michael Barrable in the Michael Barrable Motors car. All together now inside the final lap. Another cracking tin-top race from the Zetec Safety Solutions. Fiesta Zetec, here they come for the final time. Once again, Johnny Whelan almost inviting Lawless to have a go down the inside. Doesn't defend at all. Watch Barrable trying to get up the inside here of Alan Dawson. No, doesn't do it on this occasion, so it looks like it's going to be Johnny Whelan. He's flashing the lights. Johnny Whelan takes it from Phil Lawless. Great drive to second place. Alan Dawson in third. Barrable in fourth. Then it's Andy Kavanagh. Great stuff in the Zetec. Look at these battles, because this is going to take a while. There are battles all the way down the grid. Great drive from that man in the blue car. Caleb Shanley there, really good. James Byrne, top rookie again. Great stuff from him. Marco Donoghue flashing the lights going by. He came all the way from the back, as indeed did Ian Fishburne. There's Richie Byrne, Eduardo Gonzaga going through, another of our rookies. Lara Whelan, I think that's Noon, and that's Mick Keogh going through. Here's Amy Woods recovering in the Dundalk colours, black and white. Drive IRL and Shaky Bill's car. Then there's Laura Hannon going through. We're looking out for that. That's the Digital Motorsports car making her debut. Still a few more cars to come down towards us. Cole McLaughlin goes through, another beautifully prepared car. And then Tina Irwin, here it is, and she's got one over on patch in her first race. Brian Matthews next across the line, that beautifully turned out car, but getting by him somewhere in the last few laps there is Tina Irwin. Great stuff from her in her first ever race. So great stuff from the Fiesta. There's the technical team. Just they'll be reeled in for some more technical checks, and maybe there'll be a little bit of chats for, as Robin Rose used to say, for tea and cucumber sandwiches with the clerk of the course after some of the antics in that one. So Johnny Whelan takes the win, then Philip Lawless in second place, Alan Dawson completing the podium in third place, then Michael Barrable, Andy Kavanagh, Ulick Burke, Keith Dawson, Collie Barrable, Caleb Shanley and James Byrne, the last two really impressing me there. So great stuff from the Zetec Safety Fiesta Zetec Championship here at Mondello Park. We're going to take a little break now because there's a lunch break here. We have squeezed one more race in there, but we'll be back with plenty more racing after the lunch, live here from Mondello Park at the Digital Motorsports ICCR.
Well, we've only just announced it, but everybody is talking about this car behind me. It's the Junior Mini Challenge for the ICCR here at Mondello Park. An exciting new saloon car series from 14 to 17-year-old drivers. Lift off, oversteer, bumper to bumper racing. We're going to have it all this year at Mondello Park. It's the new Junior Mini Challenge.